So I'm Liz.
And I'm Jourdan.
And this is our introductory video to
High on History.
So we will post links in the description at some point. Give us time. For our Facebook, our Instagram. We're gonna be on Discord. Anyway, all that coming up. We're gonna have a YouTube channel. But first we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves and let you know what we're doing.
So, we are going to be discussing random questions that we have throughout history and going down crazy rabbit holes. Like, for instance, what does the Boston Tea Party have to do with Mad Hatters? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. Except the weird journey that we took to get all the way from the Boston Tea Party to finding out about Mad Hatters.
And on the process, we are going to live fact check ourselves to make sure that we are not going down the wrong rabbit holes because, hey, we are complete amateurs. I barely have a high school education.
I have a partial college education, but
we are in history.
Well, but we're hugely into history. That's what we do. So we just love following all these random history rabbit holes. We're going to give good information, but we are totally amateurs, and we want you to come on that journey with us. We're also amateurs at, like, podcasting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't know what we're doing. So, you know, bear with that. And should we go down that rabbit hole? Shall we try to connect the unconnectable dots?
I think we totally can. I just have to grab my phone.
All right. So, one of the things that we're going to be doing for ourselves and for you guys is, like, when we ask various questions, we're going to be fact-checking them in real time, like right here with you guys. So we're all learning together. That's going to be, like, lots of fun. But first, let's talk about, like, how we got started on our first rabbit hole.
Well, first rabbit hole started off with me randomly saying something about a 3% tax is why we decided to riot and throw a tea party, throw the Boston Tea Party. And in reality, there was so much more in history to that. I mean,
there was just a lot going on right then, right?
Across the world, including coffee revolutions, and there was all sorts of crazy things going on. Then we got into King George, the third? Is he the third or the second?
No, the third.
He was the third, okay. He was the king that we got our freedom from during the American Revolution.
Right, and specifically, I was kind of pointing out that the United States sort of lucked out this way because had King George been a more on top of it and more competent ruler, we might not have fought and won the American Revolution. So there's that. Other countries had to deal with way more competent rulers. Yeah, during their revolutions, and Australia and Canada, for example, are just not quite as independent as the United States that way. So that's kind of just interesting. So then, of course, we wanted to know
what happened with King George.
Yeah,
what was actually wrong with him? Why was he having the problems? We knew about a bunch of medical history, and we knew that he was the Mad King.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. But what mental illness did he have? Like, what was going on with him?
So we found, what was it? Porphyria? Something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the name of it was.
So it's like porphyria. Is
like
what
a
they
blood disease.
it's like a
neurological disease
disorder.
This was a few weeks ago, so we can't actually remember everything that we learned.
But what we did learn was that while that was an early diagnosis,
wasn't true.
Yeah, there's some definite questions about that diagnosis, and not all of his symptoms actually match. So then
we kept going down.
We kept going, and it looks like bipolar disorder was definitely a thing. It seems like that was at least a contributing factor.
Also, recently, and again, we don't remember what year this is recent, but we found out that there was a hair sample done and there was very high levels of
arsenic in his hair. And then that kind of reminded us that, yeah, this was the era where medicine and poison were just like,
one and the same.
So, like, if you guys want to go down weird history rabbit holes, check out all the things that we thought were effing curative in the Victorian era. It's not good. It's not good.
So arsenic was in his hair follicle sample, and then
that reminded us, arsenic poisoning, lead poisoning, these things would mercury poisoning, these things would deeply exaggerate existing health conditions. So whether or not he had the porphyria, whether or not he had bipolar disorder, certainly
arsenic,
the heavy metal poisoning that would have been in his hair, in his makeup, in his clothes,
his wallpaper,
in the
castle.
That's right. Arsenic was used in the green dyes of the time. So yeah, he would have just been surrounded by things that people thought were curative that were probably just making everything worse.
Not to mention mercury was a common cure for syphilis.
Right. Which So that brought up, just because we were talking about arsenic, then we also got to talking about mercury, and it's because we used the phrase "mad as a hatter,"
yep.
Right? So then that brought up the question: well, what made the hatters mad? And we knew that was mercury. Jourdan knew that was mercury, but we fact checked ourselves, and it was mercury. And then that begs the question, right, of course, what the hell does a liquid metal have to do with hat making anyway? And like, how did this come to be? So riff it.
So originally, when the French were making the hats, they used urine to separate leather, the skin from the fur to make leather in the hats.
Well, the fur would be what would be felted into the hat, right? Yeah.
What she said. And so, as they were using their own urine, they found out that the mercury inside of their urine made the leather and the fur just such an easier process to separate. It made it so much softer.
And then that begs the question, why was there mercury in their urine? And the answer is syphilis.
And other diseases that they were curing with mercury. But at the same time, the hatters caught on to using mercury, so they were sucking on it like it was a lollipop.
Well, no, it didn't actually say that. It said that they wound up breathing in their fumes in the hat-making process, and we didn't really go into the specifics of the hat-making process
or why they were sucking on a mercury salt or something, too, though. They were taking baths
and they were also putting the fur in their mouths to, anyway, So they were ingesting it, they were breathing in fumes, and that created mercury poisoning.
That brought on... What does mercury poisoning actually do to someone making the Mad Hatter? Well, we found out that mercury poisoning is actually very introverted. You become timid, almost scared of being outside. You don't want to interact with people. I think
there was some light sensitivity.
Yeah, there was light sensitivity. So basically...
really the opposite the opposite of the Mad Hatter. Yeah, extreme shyness was actually the symptom of mercury poisoning. So that was interesting, and then that brought up
who inspired Lewis Carroll's Mad Hatter.
Yeah, that's not mercury poisoning. Then
here we go with that
and we're actually going to fact check this one in real time just to catch you guys all up.
To bring that all around, it has often been claimed, and this is according to Wikipedia, off of just a quick Google search. We will always have our quotes, anything that we fact check ourselves. We will have all the links posted in the description below. So like I said, this is just a quick Google search, clicking down on one of the arrow buttons. What was the Mad Hatter inspired by? It has often been claimed that the Mad Hatter's character may have been inspired by Theophilus, I believe is how it's said. Theophilus? Okay. We'll put the spelling in the description below as well. Carter, an eccentric furniture dealer. Furniture. I think the last article we read, he was some sort of merchant, so now we know exactly what merchant he was.
Yeah, it just said eccentric trader. So,
yeah.
So like, we don't know where we're gonna go with this, but, like, down the rabbit hole.
No pun intended, since we started this out with Lewis Carroll's The Mad Hatter.
Right?
So we've talked about King George now. Mad Hatter. I didn't have any real questions because I wasn't really sure where we were going to go with this. Speaking of any questions, if you have any questions, have any random, like, history fact that you'd want us to go check out, send us down a rabbit hole and leave your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, yada, yada.
Ask anything, and away we'll go.
And why did hatters use mercury? We already know that answer.
We could look up about the Theophilus Carter.
Oh, yeah. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's find out about, like, how is a furniture dealer so famous that Lewis Carroll was writing about him? You know, in part, you know.
So, who was Theophilus Carter? Ooh, apparently he's also a biblical character, or at least the...
Wait. Don't forget, names do repeat.
Well, yes, I'm just saying that there's apparently also somebody in the Bible named him. So, okay, Theophilus Carter, a British dealer. He was born sometime in Oxford, United Kingdom. I almost said United States. Sometime in 1824. Hey, he's going to be celebrating, what, 200th birthday this year?
All right.
And he died on December 21st, 1904. Wow, that man lived a good long life. Congratulations. So he was an eccentric British furniture dealer and may have been, okay, we already know that part. Let's see. And I'm gonna hit the just regular wiki page. Inventor and craftsman.
Ooh, see, now we're learning more.
Yep.
Already. And that was just the subtitle.
Yeah, right? Let's see. Some writers claim that he was a servant at Christian church. Read up.
No, I mean,
what? Oh, I get it. So let's see, and I'm really just kind of skimming right now because I don't want to, like, read verbatim per se.
Here, I'm actually pretty good at this. Let's see.
She's the better reader for sure.
Let's see. Born in Oxford, the son of Thomas Carter and Harriet Eldridge, some writers claim that Carter was a servitor at Christ Church, one of the University of Oxford's colleges, during the 1850s and 60s, at the same time that Lewis Carroll was there. Oh, so that's the connection.
That's how they knew each other.
Okay. It is claimed by some sources that Carter invented the alarm clock bed exhibited at the Great Exhibition of 1851, which tipped out the sleeper at waking up time into a cup of cold water.
Oh. Wow.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Oh, that's so bad.
I wouldn't want to be dumped with cold water to wake up.
Oh my god.
So I'm kind of interested in what the original alarm clock looked like.
Yeah, me too. However, while an alarm clock bed was indeed displayed at the exhibition, in fact two were, Carter's name is lacking in both the exhibition's catalog and any other known documentation. He was a cabinet maker and owned a furniture and upholstery shop at 4849 High Street in Oxford from 1875 to 1883 at number 48, and from 1861 to 1894 at number 49, where he employed 5 men. I thought that said live men. I was like, I should hope so. We're not so wibbly-wobbly that we've gotten to Cybermen yet. Census records for 1881 show that Carter lived above this shop with his wife Mary Ann Carter, daughter, granddaughter, and 2 servants. There is a whole category here called the Hatter. I'm guessing that will explain more of, like,
his personality and where he got his reference from. There's this quick little excerpt right here.
Okay. Okay. So in 1935, H.W. Green wrote a letter to the Times asserting that Carroll had Tenniel model his drawing of the Mad Hatter on Carter. According to Green, Carter was the doubtless unconscious model for the Mad Hatter in Through the Looking Glass, as depicted by Tenniel, who was brought down to Oxford by the author, as I have heard, on purpose to see him. The likeness was unmistakable. A few days later, the Reverend W. Gordon Bailey disputed the notion that Carter did not know he had been the model for the Mad Hatter.
Oh, that would be the correspondence from, what's his name? Well, who did we just say? The governor dude.
Yeah.
On history.
Okay, so he looks like the guy. Over the years, the Carter legend has often been retold, but no evidence has come to light, either in Carroll's diaries or letters or elsewhere, that Carroll ever brought Tenniel to Oxford for any purpose.
Huh. So, kind of, sort of, maybe an accident, but not really.
So yeah, it gets really like nebulous there. So maybe Carter was not necessarily
Directly,
but there is connection there, right? So that's
Lewis went
fascinating.
To school with him in Oxford.
And again, we'll post the link to this wiki so that you can read those details for yourself. Sorry, we kind of got lost there in the maze, but that's is what we're doing. That's the rabbit hole. This is how we are high on history. Join us again. We're going to try to post at least weekly, maybe sometimes more than once a week. Look for us to make ourselves better at videoing and dialoguing and and just enjoy the ride. Thanks so much for being here, and welcome to High on History.
High on History. Bye.
Bye.